Hey guys, ArtDude47 here, and today I wanted to make a new video of my Japanese pickups. As some of you may know, I was able to go to Japan. It's actually been a few months now. It was in last November of 2018, and I had a few things I wanted to pick up for the collection while in Japan. I don't speak Japanese, so I didn't really want very many Japanese games. It was more consoles or controllers if I could find them that I was after, but there were a few games. Now, I actually didn't end up finding any consoles or controllers that were at the right price that I was missing, but I did get a few of the games I was after, so I just wanted to go over those and show those to you. So the first here is a Japanese exclusive, and this is the box. It's Final Fantasy II for the Famicom. The back of the box is a cool drawing of the map for the game. And I paid about $12 US for this game. I was very happy to find it because I do want to get a complete set of Final Fantasy at some point. And so with this not having come out in the United States, at least not in its original form at this point, it has come out on later consoles, but of course I want the original. So I was definitely needing to add that to the collection. I've already gone ahead and taken it out of the box. It came on a white cartridge like this. And this was the Japanese equivalent of the Nintendo Entertainment System, but this obviously had different shaped cartridges. It was a top loader, not like the toaster loader like our console ended up being. And that's what the back label looks like. Now, this also included the plastic tray that would have come in the cartridge as well, or that would have held the cartridge, as well as the manual here. And a little safety instruction, at least I think that's what this is. It's like instructions on how to use the power adapter in the console. Don't know if that came with the game or if that was just something somebody had stuck in there, and so it came to me. Oh, sorry about that. I bumped the mic. I don't know if you heard that. If you do, I apologize. Anyway, and then here is the manual. Again, it's in Japanese, so I don't really know much about it, but was cool to add to the collection. Now, let me grab the next game here for you. The next one, of course, would have been the very next in the series. Final Fantasy III. Cover art on this looks great, I feel like. Now, I have actually beaten this one. I played through this on the DS remake, but of course it didn't come out in its original form in the United States. So this one was also a Famicom game. And that's what all sides of the box look like. And then as far as the cartridge for Final Fantasy III, it has the same cover art as the box. I think it looks great. And the back of the cartridge looks the same, but it comes on that same white cartridge. This one also came with the manual as well as the plastic tray. Now, something that bothers me about this one, for some reason the manual is quite a bit larger than Final Fantasy II, and so it doesn't actually fit in the plastic tray like Final Fantasy II's does. But there's the manual. With a game like this, it actually back then came with a very thick manual explaining everything, and this was back when they were just square. So then, to stay in the same vein, my next pickup here, you may have already guessed it, was Final Fantasy V. For whatever reason, Final Fantasy V was also skipped for release in the United States. So if you don't know, we got Final Fantasy I, the original, on the NES, and then we got Final Fantasy II. That's what they called it, but it was actually the Japanese Final Fantasy IV. So I didn't pick up 4 since it was released in the United States. And then that was on Super Nintendo. And then we got Final Fantasy III, is what we called it on the Super Nintendo, but it's actually Final Fantasy VI. So that left us missing 5, which I was able to pick up here. Now, of course, this was a Super Nintendo game, or Super Famicom in the case of Japan. So the graphics looked quite a bit better. The character models were better. And just the box design in general, you could see it's a little more cohesive. Now this game, of course, also included the plastic insert and manual. The manual in this game is pretty cool. There it is, Final Fantasy V. Then if you open it up, it's kind of got the button layout. And then it's got a world map. The cool thing about it is it does fold out into a poster. I'm just going to unfold that here real quick. And if you've never played Final Fantasy V, this game also had a job system very similar to 3. And so the poster kind of shows every job and a description of them. And so I thought that was definitely pretty neat to be able to add to the collection. As for the cartridge, it looks slightly different than our Super Nintendo cartridges. This was the Super Famicom cartridge. And then there is one last unrelated game I picked up. This one was more of a unplanned purchase. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I guess before I show that, I do, since I talked about what I paid for the original Final Fantasy II, Final Fantasy III was about $15 and Final Fantasy V was about $20. They were all cheaper than I could have them shipped to me using something like eBay, so I did go ahead and pick those up. Now, the last game, like I said, was a spur of the moment thing. I wasn't planning on getting this. I actually didn't even know it existed, but I saw it. It is a GameCube game, and it's called the Pokemon Box. Now, of course, the fact that it was Pokemon caught my eye, but what caught my eye even more than that was the little 100 yen sticker that was on it. I got it off at this point. But if you don't know exchange rate, at the time I went, we were actually having a pretty good exchange rate with Japan. So that ended up costing me about like 92 cents US. And so I just had to have it for that price. I mean, I can't play it, obviously. I don't speak Japanese. From what I understand, it's more like just storage space for your Pokemon. Now, this game is actually the reason it's taken me so long to make this video after my trip from Japan. If you see here, it brags about a memory card that I believe this says it would have been included with the game. My copy was missing the memory card. Now, in Japan, the GameCube games came with like a slip cover, and then they just look like that inside. So I had to get the memory card to complete the game before I made the video on it. So I have gotten the memory card at this point. It's a very cool memory card for the GameCube because it is clear blue on the front, just like Pokemon Sapphire, and it's clear red on the back like Pokemon Ruby. So it's a two-tone GameCube memory card. Now, I was also pleased to find out that this game included everything, including no memory card, but it did have the memory card stickers. It also had the game manual. Then there was another slip of paper in here, which was a website advertisement for Pokemon 2003. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but it looks like there were actually like Pokemon Center locations you could go to in Japan, because on the back there's a like map of the actual city that has these locations. And the inside's just Pokemon Center Online, so it doesn't give more information on exactly what it was for, but I think that's what it was. You actually went to these locations and you could get stuff. Then it's also got some information on how to clean the disc. And then there was another like advertisement of sorts in here. This one was for Pokemon Coliseum and the Pokemon Channel on this side. And on the back side, it was Pokemon Pinball and some Pokemon related like wand toy. I can't really tell what that was. I've never seen it before. Then, for some reason, it had a control guide for Beautiful Joe. I don't know if that was originally intended to come with this game or not. The reason I say that it may have been is because the last thing it had, which I thought was really cool, was a 2003 demo disc. And as you can see in the bottom, this would have had a demo for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles as well as Beautiful Joe. So I thought this was really cool to have come with it since, like I said, I paid less than $1 for this. So it really came with a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting. And the memory card can be used on an English console. So that's really cool for that style of memory card. And I'm really glad to have added it to the collection. Anyway, guys, that's about all I needed to update you on with this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Please consider liking and subscribing. That would really help me out a lot. And I will see you all next time.